in 1986 for the Japanese Nintendo Famicom, we have The Goonies. And I had always wondered about this when I was a kid, because I had Goonies 2, and I never could figure out where the hell Goonies 1 was. Let's pop it in the old Sharp Twin Famicom and see how it looks. Alright, the Goonies video game is based off the movie by the same name. A Steven Spielberg film, by the way. Very good, very enjoyable. Fun family flick. And as a general rule of thumb, we all know video games based on movies suck big time. But this is not the case with Goonies. It's quite a fun platforming puzzle game. Although this game only resembles the movie in overall general concept, that's a good thing, because it would have been quite a tall order to make a playable version of Goonies the movie for the NES. And any game that tries to make a playable version of the movie generally ends up being pretty crappy. So let me give you the rundown on how to play Goonies. You control that little guy right there, Mikey. He's the main character in the movie. I'm not sure what actor played him in the movie, but that's not that important. Now your goal is to wander around the Fratelli house and the underground passages underneath it in order to collect keys and the other 5 Goonies. Once you collect 3 keys from one area, you have access to the next stage. There are 2 main types of enemies, and they are little mice and a Fratelli brother. When you kill a mouse, he drops a bomb. You can pick the bomb up, but you can only carry 1 bomb at a time, and you can set it down in front of a door to open it. You start off with just kicking as a weapon, but as you see, I just picked up the slingshot, which gives you a bit of range. And that's about the gist of the gameplay. The player control is quite simple. You use the D-pad to move your player around, and the A button jumps, and the B button either kicks or shoots, or if you press down on the B button, you drop a bomb. Now, as you can see when you look in the upper right-hand corner, there is a timer, and you also have a life bar, if you look in the upper left. And that's about the gist of how to play Goonies. Quite simple, quite enjoyable. And as I said earlier, I'm not sure why this was only released in Japan. It might have something to do with the perceived failures of video game conversions of movies. And it was well known in the industry itself that you had a 9 out of 10 chance of failing if you released a video game that was based on a movie. It was only like a 1 in 10 shot that it was going to be a good, successful game. So I guess Konami opted with a Japan-only release, which would have been considerably cheaper than going worldwide with it. But the game was moderately successful in Japan, and for good reason. It's a good game. It's fun to play, and it's easy to pick up. In fact, it was successful enough for a sequel, Goonies 2, which was released worldwide. And that game is infinitely more complex and, confusing compared to Goonies 1. Now, I'm not knocking Goonies 2. It's actually a fun game. I'm quite a fan of it. But not everybody really liked Goonies 2. It was kind of a weird game, to say the least. And even when it was released, it only had like mediocre reviews at best for Goonies 2. So I don't know why they decided to release Goonies 2 in the US and worldwide, when I feel Goonies 1 was actually a better game as far as playability is concerned. And I think Goonies 1 would have done very well in the US, Europe, and everywhere else. So if you have a Nintendo Famicom, by all means pick up Goonies. It's a great game, and it's one of those rare good games that wasn't released in North America, or Europe, or Africa, or Australia, or anywhere else but Japan. So you actually need a Famicom to play it. If you're not a Japanese speaker, don't worry. This game has no Japanese text. and the game was popular enough that you can find it readily available online at your favorite online shop that sells imported games. So pick it up, I don't think you'll be disappointed. I'm Dami from Classic Games Revisited. Until next time.